Scorpios, it's your favorite homegirl, Kayanarich, and welcome to your 2024 forecast reading. Right away, right? We're not even going to waste time, okay? Just remember that you can apply this to your sun, moon, rising, and Venus. But right away, I want to say, Scorpio, it's time to step your confidence up, you to recognize the cycles that are repeating themselves, and it's time for you to prioritize growth, okay? Now, when we talk about your confidence, this is going to definitely be in relation to your self-love, to your romantic and your romantic and platonic relationships, okay? Your confidence issues are coming up, and I feel like what's happening is they are being funneled with anger. Scorpio, I know that you might have dealt with people in the past that didn't love you the way that you needed to receive love. I know that it might have been people in the past you have shown up and been amazing friends to. You have shown up and you have done everything that you thought you possibly needed to do when it came to being the best version of yourself for them. And they didn't do what it was that you needed from them. But what I really want to focus on when we talk about your confidence, Scorpio, is I want you to remember that there is only one you. And sometimes, Scorpio, you can get really comfortable being in the same space. You can get really comfortable doing the same thing. You get really comfortable with just not changing because you feel like everything around you needs to change instead of you. And so I feel like over the past couple of months, maybe even years, there has been a breakdown of things that have happened in your life that have really caused you to really question your confidence, really question who you are, really question, if you're doing the right thing, and really question if you know what it is that you're doing. And so this is going to be the season for you. 2024 is going to be the year for you where you are being a lot more intentional with upping the ante. Okay. This is going to be where you are a lot more intentional with really focusing on what it is about you that makes you feel like you're not enough. And I feel like we're going back to your inner child, your inner teen. The inner teen is what's really carrying a lot of the anger for you, Scorpio. The inner teen is the one who feels like you were abandoned when you really tried to show up in spaces as your most authentic self. Now, while there is some work for the inner child, because the inner child is dealing with mother wounds and the inner child is dealing with the dynamic between mother and child. While I want you to really unpack that, and while I want you to really be open to unpacking that, I also want you to give some love to your inner teen, because the inner teen is the reason why you're having difficulty right now showing up as your most confident self. And so I really want to point that out, because that definitely feels like 2024 is really going to be bringing up the confidence issues. And it's going to be almost like there are people around you that keep mentioning that you have these confidence issues. They're going to keep mentioning or using words like you're being insecure, you're acting impulsive, you're acting irrational. They're going to say you're acting crazy. They're going to say a whole bunch of things. They're going to be saying a whole bunch of things surrounding how you're behaving. They're going to be saying a whole bunch of things in regards to how you're behaving, how you're acting. They're going to want to have answers. They're going to want answers. They're going to have those answers for you. And so what I really want to point out for you when we think about that, or when we think about, your confidence and how you're feeling, again, going back to that inner teen is going to really give you the answers that you're looking for. Altogether, with the old cycles repeating themselves, Scorpio, this is going to be good and this is going to be lessons. Now, the good part about it is that you are really tapping into 2020 energy. Your finances are going to be up. Your connections are going to be large. You are going to be able to make very major impacts with very minimal action. You are going to be able to really put yourself in position to be about 5 steps ahead of the game if you really focus during this year, okay? What is going to be really important is you trying to diversify the way that you show up in the world. So whether it is that you're doing a 9 to 5 and you start a side hustle, or you have a side hustle and you start another one, or maybe you are someone who has been really struggling with a career, this is going to be the time for you to really just kind of double into that grind mode season, but again, really boosting your confidence. And so, in order for you to propel in all the other spaces of your life, you really do have to do the work in terms of tapping into your inner child and tapping into what your inner child looks and feels like and what it is that your inner child needs. So, don't be afraid to really tap into that. Don't be afraid to really allow yourself to kind of go through the groundwork. It's going to be emotional, it's going to be hectic, it's going to be all of those things, but it is going to be worth it. Okay. It is going to definitely bring you the abundance that you're looking for. Your growth needs to be a priority. And so, what that means is if you are currently at a job that you have been talking about for months, Scorpio, that you want to get the out of Dodge, now is going to be the time to do it. This is going to be the year to do it. This is going to be the year for you to really start using your networking, really start using your social skills, really start tapping into new environments, new networks, new people, meeting different types of people so that you can find a way to really step into the season that you want to be in. Okay. You guys are definitely, when it comes to your spiritual growth, you guys are in a spiritual ascension. And so you may find that a lot of this year you are, while you are trying to network, you are struggling with that because you're in this season of almost hermit mode. A lot of you are going to want to be in this hermit mode season. You're going to want to be at home. You're going to want to be dive deep into your occult books, your spiritual books. You are going to definitely be trying to do cleanses and fasts and really just trying to reconnect with your energy. And that is completely okay. I think that even if you take the first half of the year to really start building on your knowledge, really start building on your information that you have, and really allowing yourself to grow in that sense, I feel like it'll be very beneficial for you going forward. And the reason why I feel like it'll be so beneficial for you is because it will really allow you to put yourself in position. It will really allow you to give yourself the opportunity to really step into a new era, step into a new environment. Okay. So you're going to definitely be going through spiritual ascensions. Now, I have to be real with you, Scorpio. Spiritual ascensions also usually come with death. Okay. And I don't mean physical death, but I mean death of ideas, death of certain perspectives, death of certain relationships. You are going through a rebirth. And so, what that means is that you're going to be experiencing very big changes this year. This year is going to kind of uproot a lot of things within you. So, you have to not only prioritize your growth, but you have to also prioritize your process. Okay. And so, be very open to trying new things. Get a deeper understanding of your purpose. And the only way that you're going to get a better understanding of your purpose is when you do that work, when you give yourself the opportunity to really just dive into your spirituality a little bit more. You know, start praying, building your relationship with God, building your relationship with your ancestors, building your relationship in general. When you really start to allow yourself to tap into that, you're going to realize how unstoppable you are. You're going to realize how powerful you are. And you're also going to realize how many of your ancestors have been trying to give you everything that you need without you really recognizing it. Okay, Scorpio, this is a season for you to speak less and listen more. Okay, this is the season, I'm going to say it again. This is the season for you to speak less and listen more. Okay, this is not the time for you to be arguing with everybody. This is not the time for you to be trying to prove yourself to everybody. This is the time where you observe, you listen, you gain knowledge, you gain perspective, you see people's motives, you see people's intentions, you move accordingly. This is really going to be the season that's really echoing and really focusing on that. And so you have to give yourself the opportunity to just really be in that, and really be in that space. Again, when I talk about the hermit mode, I just keep seeing for you like spiritual connection. Go back to your roots. Go back to where you come from. Get in bodies of water. Offer something to the mama of the ocean. Um, you know, do your manifestations in the water. Like, do your manifestations in your shower. Take spiritual baths. Drink more water. go on fast, like really, like this is really going to be the year for you. I promise you, Scorpios, you are going to come out of 2024 a completely different person. You have to just be willing to try new things. Okay, you have to. I think that what's going to be really important for you as well, Scorpio, is really focusing, sorry, on your personal, your sexual, and your personal, and your sexual hygiene is pretty much the same. But also your energy hygiene, your spiritual hygiene. Okay. So when I talk about your physical hygiene, get into those habits, create those routines, make those routines. If you need to do a morning routine, you need to do a nighttime routine. You need to have in there reading a book. You need to have prayer. You need to have journaling. You need to have meditation. You need to have, whatever, you need to start doing that. If that also means that, you lay off the smoking, you lay off the drinking, if that means that you are, going plant-based, like whatever it is that you need to do or whatever is necessary, I think that that's going to be really, really, really pivotal for you. And I think that it's going to be something that really kind of catapults you into another dimension. So it's going to be really important, Scorpio, for you to do that. Now, when I talk about sexual hygiene, if you're in a relationship, obviously that's without a doubt, you guys should be having those communications, should be having those conversations. But if you're not in a relationship, now is not the time for you to be hooking up. Now is not the time for you to be having multiple sexual partners. Now is the time for you to be, you know, really getting to know your own body. Now is a time where you maybe even say, you know what, for a month or two, I'm not going to self pleasure, like really get into your sexual health. And I say that because for a lot of you, Scorpio, a lot of you a lot of you sometimes find that you are more susceptible to STDs. You're more susceptible to UTIs. You're more susceptible to that because you are naturally a freak. Like you're naturally very sexually liberated. You are naturally very powerful when it comes to sex magic. And while that is amazing, if you're not practicing spiritual hygiene, that sex magic and that sex manifestation can turn into a harboring of energy, can turn into you not being in your optimal space because you're harboring so much energy from your sexual partners. So I really just think, again, just really spend some time really focusing on that. And then again, when we focus on your self-care, what does that look like? What are the boundaries that you are creating? What are the non-negotiables for you? What are the things that 100% you are not changing? You are not going to you're not going to be okay with changing. Really focusing on that is going to also be very important for you. So I want you guys to really focus on allowing yourself to have a moment for self-care, allowing yourself to have a moment to do that. Your finances are going to be very balanced this year. I feel like you guys are financially not going to go through a rut, and you're financially not going to go through a growth. You're pretty much going to keep and maintain a very healthy financial relationship. If you are finding that you are struggling financially right now, Scorpio, that is because you need to focus on the other things that I pointed out previously in this reading, or prior to getting right here in this reading. You need to really focus on having those hermit mode moments and really figuring out if your career is what you're doing. Really figure out if you're doing what it is that you need to do. Your career and work life is going to get really hectic around April, May. And so April, May, and then also I want to say August, September. And so it's really important for you to prioritize and have things in play that make it a little bit more seamless for you, that make it a little bit more enjoyable, because the pressure is getting worse. Okay. So I really want you guys to just plan and prepare and be in a season of planning and preparing, and be in a season of being prepared for what is to come. When I say manage your expectations, I want you to manage the expectations that you have of yourself and also the expectations that you have of others. Your family relationships could potentially be shifting in this year. Some relationships can be healed and deepen, while some relationships might get ruffled and separate. And so I really want you, again, to just be very intentional, learn to listen more and speak less, learn to prioritize yourself, and learn to navigate difficult conversations and relationships, because this is definitely going to be the year where a lot of that is coming up. A lot of that is becoming more and more pivotal for you. So I really want you to focus on that. When it comes to your romantic relationships, I feel like you might find that a lot of old lovers are coming back into play for you. A lot of old lovers are coming back. A lot of old love is being reignited. A lot of old feelings are being brought to surface. Now, while a majority of these are going to be because for those of you who are single, you're feeling very much like you are ready to, be in a romantic relationship. I want you to be, again, very intentional. Okay, because you have to be very careful, especially around summer seasons, because that's going to be where a lot of old people are coming in and they're going to be dangling a lot of things in your face that make it seem like the grass is greener or the grass is green over here, but they ain't watering nothing. So again, you're going to have to learn to really prioritize putting yourself first, really prioritize making yourself be a priority so that you can kind of really know what it is that you need and what it is that you need to navigate or do. Okay. For friendships in 2024, there are going to be a lot of new ones coming in. But again, Scorpio, you have to be open to these new friendships. You have to let the resentment, the anger, the disappointment go that you're carrying from your past friendships that maybe didn't work out. If you have friends right now in your life that you feel like there are some things that they need to know, or you feel like there are some things that you need to communicate to them, now would be a really great time for you to communicate that and really get through those hurdles. Really work through those hurdles, because if you don't work through those hurdles and you don't get through those hurdles, you're going to realize that you spent a lot of time wasted, a lot of wasted time. There was a lot of time that was being wasted, you know, obsessing over things that didn't really matter, obsessing over friendships that weren't really going to be bringing you what you were looking for, anyways. So just keep those things in mind. Definitely keep those things in mind in a sense of allowing yourself to move forward, but also just being open to finding new friends and being open to, again, doing a little bit more of what that inner teen um is asking for. Do a little bit more of what that inner teen is really crying for. If you need some help with finding journal prompts to heal your inner teen or your inner child, drop that in the comment box below and I'll be more than happy to share those with you. But again, Scorpio, 2024 is just going to be a season of being intentional and really healing yourself, really healing and evolving and becoming the best version of you. I don't want you to be scared and I don't want you to be stuck in your ways. This is going to be where you have to flow. Okay. I really want you to get into some bodies of water. I really want you to start manifesting with water, really start doing some spiritual cleanses and spiritual baths, and really get focused on your spiritual, your sexual, your physical, all kinds of hygiene. This is going to be the season where you have to do a complete 180 and become a different person. And a lot of that is going to start within. So, again, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you, Scorpio. I hope that it brings you the clarity, the understanding, the peace, and the abundance that you deserve. And I'll see you later. Bye.